Tonight on Connecticut's news station, one of Fotis Dulos' former employees taking the stand in the Michelle Troconis trial. We'll have the new details from court.
Juveniles have made committing crimes a hobby and a sport. Everyone's child doesn't deserve to be locked up, but there are a heck of a lot of them that do.
Calls for accountability for juvenile crime. Folks in our state say they're fed up with kids stealing and breaking into cars. We'll hear what changes they hope to see starting in Hartford.
Plus, lawmakers preparing to kick off the 2024 legislative session. A look at their top priorities for the year.
Now at 6, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Good evening and thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 6. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. On day 18 of the Michelle Troconis trial, a long-awaited witness, one of Fotis Dulos' former employees, takes the stand.
Pavel Gumeni giving his account of things he noticed leading up to the disappearance of Jennifer Farber-Dulos.
Fox 61's Julia LeBlanc has a breakdown of what happened today.
Gumeni spent all day testifying about his account of what he says happened in the days, weeks, and months leading up to the disappearance of Jennifer Farber-Dulos, plus what happened afterward.
First of all, are you nervous being here? Yes.
After getting qualified immunity, Pavel Gumeni opens up for the first time.
Did you consider Mr. Dulos to be a close friend?
No.
He was your boss?
Yes.
Starting in 2016, Gumeni began working full-time for Fotis Dulos at his luxury home building company, 4 Group. He met Fotis' then-girlfriend, Michelle Troconis, shortly after. At first, he says she was friendly. He recalls an interaction with the couple when one of Dulos' dogs got sick. At some point, Jennifer Farber-Dulos, Fotis' estranged wife, came up.
She said something like, can you believe that Jennifer won't even let the kids come over and say goodbye to the dog before we put them to sleep?
Tell the jury what the defendant said.
She said she should be buried right next to this dog.
Gumeni taking jurors back to the day Jennifer disappeared. That Friday afternoon, he went to one of Fotis' properties in Farmington to pick up his red Toyota Tacoma. It's the same truck police allege Fotis used in the crime. When Gumeni got to the house, Fotis and Troconis were there.
How did Mr. Dulos react when he saw you?
The way I can say it, look like surprised for a second or two.
How did the defendant react when she saw you?
About the same way.
And when it came time to take the truck home, at first, Gumeni says the keys were in the door, then they weren't. He says Fotis said Michelle had the keys, and later, when police began their investigation.
He told me not to mention that Michelle had a key.
So you brought up the fact that your key wasn't in the Tacoma and Mr. Dulos told you not to mention that Michelle had the key?
Yes.
In the days following, Gumeni says Fotis got the Toyota Tacoma detailed. Fotis started pressing him about changing the seats or even selling the car.
He told me, go to junkyard, get Tacoma seats or some other seats, pay cash, and I will reimburse you for it.
He says Fotis then asked him not to call the seats, but hardware moving forward.
Were you growing nervous or suspicious about Mr. Dulos?
Yes.
Outside the courtroom Tuesday, the Troconis family reading emails of support from the community aloud.
And I hope that, we can continue demonstrating that she has nothing to do with the disappearance of Jennifer Dulos.
Now, Gumeni is expected to take the stand once again tomorrow. We're in Stamford. Julia LeBlanc, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
New at 6 here, a West Virginia man with a lengthy criminal history has been captured in Connecticut and is facing charges for a murder in our state. The U.S. Marshals arrested 29-year-old TAA Watson in Waterbury. Watson's wanted for murder charges in Waterbury from a case back in June. 49-year-old Beck Schweitzer was shot in the head while in her apartment. She died at the hospital several days later. The U.S. Marshals say in addition to the murder charges here in Connecticut, Watson has been wanted in West Virginia since 2021 in connection with a drug trafficking ring. He'll face charges in Connecticut first before being taken back to West Virginia.
New tonight, on the eve of a new legislative session, community leaders in Hartford are stepping to the podium to demand reform and accountability when it comes to juvenile crime. And tonight, a new victim of juvenile crime makes her case. Fox 61's Matt Karen is live at the state capitol with the story. Matt?
Well, you may remember that it was just a few weeks ago when a 14-year-old was killed after crashing a stolen vehicle into a home in Wethersfield. Well, today we met the owner of that vehicle. She's a Hartford resident, and she says that lawmakers and parents need to listen up.
Juveniles have made committing crimes a hobby and a sport.
When Jendaya Scott Miller, better known as the Angel of Edgewood, saw her neighbor's car getting vandalized,
I looked out of my window to see a group of teens breaking into my neighbor's vehicle.
little did she know that those same teens would days later steal the car of Hartford resident Zena Brathwaite, taking it on a joyride before crashing into this Wethersfield home, killing 14-year-old Novell Nesmith.
Your kids are destroying people's lives, breaking into stores, breaking in people's cars, stealing people's vehicles. That was devastating to me.
Brathwaite, who's 60 years old, on a fixed income and just got a new kidney, told Fox 61 the traumatic ordeal sent her into an emotional spiral.
I was distraught. I just went right into depression. I didn't want to do nothing. I didn't want to eat. I didn't want to sleep.
Hartford community activists say it all could have been avoided.
Because most of these youth were not new to the criminal justice system.
On the eve of a new legislative session, they stood in solidarity to call for juvenile crime reform and accountability.
I don't care if you was a juvenile or not. You knew how to go in somebody's vehicle and take it. You need to be responsible for that.
We are urging parents to be vigilant about their children's whereabouts in associations.
In 2023, lawmakers passed a juvenile justice bill that, among other things, sped up arraignments, allows GPS monitoring for repeat offenders, requires local police to be notified if somebody doesn't pass a background check for a firearm, and it punishes car theft based on the number of offenses as opposed to the value of the vehicle. Still, they say more should be done.
It is time for lawmakers to enact stricter laws and ensure that juveniles are held accountable.
And at the same time as they called on lawmakers to enact tougher penalties for juvenile offenders, they're also calling on Kia and Hyundai corporations to protect consumers by retrofitting their older vehicles with anti-theft technology. Their vehicles do represent a majority of stolen vehicles. We're live outside the state capitol in Hartford. Matt Karen, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Matt, thank you. That 2024 legislative session of which we speak kicks off in less than 24 hours now. So what do lawmakers want to get done in the next 3 months?
Fox 61 political reporter Emma Wolforce is live at the state capitol to help us answer that question. Emma.
Sarah, Brent, it is all about money, money, money this year. Advocates are already scrambling to try and get more funding as lawmakers head back here to the Capitol tomorrow to consider possible adjustments to the state's annual $26 billion budget.
Before the guardrails, sometimes you had boom years, then you had bust years. You couldn't count on it. 6 years of consistent increases in our key social services, I think, is something to be proud of.
Connecticut's fiscal guardrails, a major topic for the 2024 session. Last year, lawmakers passed a bipartisan $51 billion two-year budget and renewed those guardrails for another 5 years.
We've had 5, soon to be 6 years where we've been able to increase funding for our key social services.
While the budget is largely set, lawmakers will open it back up for possible adjustments this session, and a lot of groups want more money.
There's a lot of sense, oh my gosh, you're cutting the heck out of this program or that program. University of Connecticut or the CSU or daycare are getting the biggest grants in history.
Many of these programs say even with these increases, it's not enough to cover operating costs and gaps caused by the end of federal pandemic-era funding. Nonprofits, higher education, childcare, housing, and others are already clamoring for a piece of the state's historic surplus, but Connecticut's strict spending cap stands in the way.
Could we be doing more more? Yes. But what you want is consistency, and that's what we've been able to accomplish.
Governor Lamont and Republican leaders want the legislature to stick to the fiscal guardrails, while Democratic leadership has signaled an openness to possibly finding some flexibility.
Look at all our neighboring states. They're cutting funding for program. We're arguing about how much to increase our programming. I'm proud of where Connecticut is.
And we'll be back here live tomorrow at noon as Governor Lamont gives his State of the State and budget address right here. For now, live at the state capitol, Emma Wolforst, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Thank you, Emma. Time for a check on the forecast. Another really nice sunny day out there.
Yeah, normally we're anxious for the weekend to get here, but it's going to be such a beautiful week. You know, I don't mind taking my time
we'll let it simmer a little bit.
Smelling these roses. Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frame joining us now with a look at the forecast. Rach?
Yeah, this week it's not just about the destination, you know, getting to the weekend. It's about the journey. We're enjoying the sunshine while it's here. Right now in Hartford, 38 degrees. We're going to keep that sunshine around in the coming days, and we're going to add a warming trend to the mix as well that will peak on Saturday. 36 right now in Meriden. We're in the upper 30s for the New Haven area. Nothing on radar to show you, although there are some clouds to the east of us. Most of those stay to the east from this offshore coastal storm. Tonight, we're looking at temperatures close to 30 as we head towards the news at 11, and overnight lows will be dipping back into the 20s. We are waking up to what is now a familiar sight tomorrow morning. The sunshine. Grab your sunglasses on your way out the door. After a similar start to where we woke up to today, it is milder as we head through the afternoon. We're near 40 by lunchtime, and we're looking at high temperatures climbing into the lower and even middle 40s for some as we head through the afternoon with just a few passing clouds. If you think this is impressive, we're just getting started. Wait until you see the weekend, your full forecast, plus we're timing out the chance for some showers coming up.
Sounds good, Rachel. Thank you. We have an update now. Police say a third person was killed in a crash that happened over the weekend in Beacon Falls. Andresa de Brito Alves was a passenger in a Honda Civic that collided with a Ford pickup truck on Route 8 North on Sunday. Alves died from her injuries. 2 children who were in the back seat of the Civic also died. They were 6 and 3 years old. Police say the driver of the Civic was seriously injured. The driver of the pickup truck was hospitalized with minor injuries.
State police are looking for witnesses of a crash in Rocky Hill. A man was seriously injured in the crash. Police say a car was driving on I-91 near exit 24 just before 1 a.m. when a car drove into the grassy median and then rolled over. The driver was taken to the hospital. No other cars were involved, but if you were driving in the area around that time and have a dash cam video, police are asking you to review that video.
We have an update now on a shooting in Waterbury. Charges for an 18-year-old girl have been upgraded after the victim died earlier today. Police arrested Angela Bowden Mitchell on Saturday. She is accused of shooting 38-year-old Keno Williams, who was found inside a car near the parking lot of Birdie's Restaurant on North Main Street last Tuesday night. Williams died from his injuries today. Police say additional arrests are expected. Still to come here on the news.